I was just worried that there could be alienation of people that you want to connect to. And look, if you want to convince them of a political message, that's completely a personal goal, right?
Is that referring to?
It's referring to that side. Yeah. I think personally, it's putting out a message that.
Yeah.
You know.
So the message really, it works twofold. So we're trying to get Israel to stop bombing.
Okay.
So that's the key, right?
Yeah.
We want to stop the death of children and civilians and kids, right? So essentially, up until now, any form of information that's been put out there, anything that's been put out there to try and get Israel to see sense, to stop, hasn't actually worked. And Israel seems hell-bent on continuing a merciless barrage of rocket fire into the Gaza Strip.
Well, but again, that feels like it's missing the major piece of context.
Well, no, because what we can speak about the major context once the bombing stops. Because until that bombing keeps going, until people are dying on a daily basis. I mean, the death toll is over 30,000 right now. You agree,
I know.
right? And I mean, just this morning I received messages of little kids being pulled out of rubble on the latest attack, which killed 26 people. Right?
I see those messages, but the hostages are still in Gaza.
Right, but I know. But what I'm saying is it justified for 30 plus thousand people, 30,000? That's a football stadium full of people, right? To die over 10, 20, 50, 100 hostages. Is that justified? And then everybody's saying, and then
it's a matter of principle. It's not numbers, because doing the maths, I feel you lose the.
Yeah, but the matter of principle is that Israel has had every so often, every few years, there's an operation. There's Operation Cast Lead. There's Operation Protective Edge. There's Operation. All of these operations, every so often. You know, I think in 2014. 1,200 people, 1,400 Palestinians were killed at a peaceful protest, right? And the bullets they're using are actually banned bullets. They're bullets. They go through the body and they rupture. And
I know.
Can I just mention one thing? Is that this word genocide?
Yeah, I take great issue with that word.
You may have taken great issue, but
everyone has a different right.
The thing is that South Africa have brought this accusation to the International Court of Justice,
but it was
as a genuine concern, right?
Which is very interesting because the International Court of Justice ruled that there is no genocide.
No, they didn't say there isn't.
There hasn't been.
They said Israel should take measures not to commit acts which could be construed as genocide, and should release a report.
But you know the case is still ongoing, right?
I know the case is ongoing, but the ruling has come out.
I'm not being funny. Regardless what South Africa says or what the courts say or what these powers say, anyone with a common sense can see what's going on. I'm sorry, I don't need South African Court of Justice to tell me is a genocide or not a genocide.
The problem that
no, do you understand?
I understand.
Just put it there. Put it there. It's in the group, and then we'll send it to the system.
To me, which you might understand.
It has a connotation to everyone. It has a more of a upsetting connotation to me because it's our people in Gaza who are being killed and are being wiped out.
Absolutely.
So if anyone should have offence with the word genocide or the reality of a genocide taking place, it's not the one who's committing it, it's the one who's being committed on.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
And that's what I find really upsetting, and I find when someone who is finds, oh, how can you say Israel is committing genocide? I find that really offensive. I find offensive the hundreds of thousands of people who are being bombed and are being killed. I find offensive when the hospitals are being killed, hospitals are being bombed under the disguise of X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
I find that offensive.
But the hospitals have been on numerous occasions found to have got
really?
Absolutely.
So in the West Bank.
So they have.
They haven't bombed them, have they?
Well, there's no Hamas in the West Bank.
Oh, really?
There is Hamas in the West
So why are they bombing West Bank?
Because that's Hamas in the West
Tel Aviv?
And sorry?
What about in Tel Aviv? If you found a hospital in Tel Aviv that Hamas has infiltrated and had weapons in that, do you think Israel will go and bomb Tel Aviv? No, I'm asking you a question. Let's ask them this question. Would Tel Aviv...
I can't answer that question because it doesn't make sense logically.
Of course it does.
There would never
the fact of the matter is,
under Tel Aviv.
Israel can make up what they want, right? And Israel is saying that there was tunnels under this Hamas in these hospitals, and this is why we're bombing it.
By international organisations.
My friend, are you trying to stand there and tell me that you support the fact that they bombed these hospitals? And then you want to stand there on the same merit and say you find that word genocide offensive? That's a joke and a laugh. Come on, let's be honest. That's completely that's ridiculous.
The problem I have with the word genocide is very different from the problem that it happens in the hospital.
Do you have a problem with people dying, innocent people dying?
Of course I do.
So when
I would
you
be
see,
heartless if I did.
huh?
I would be heartless if I did.
Well, Israeli government is quite heartless because they
I
don't.
don't. So did I say I support
So
the
when
Israeli
the
government?
no, 1 second. So when we're saying that when Israel is committing a genocide, it's because of the actions of the Israeli government and the bombs that they're dropping and the killings that they're happening. So to be honest, I don't really care if people have a problem with the word. It's a reality that's happening.
See, your problem should be with the Israeli government.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I have problems with the Israeli government. My problem with Hamas is more immediate because on October
Why?
7th, my family.
But your Israeli,
I'm not Israeli.
What about the
your
75 years
Israeli
of occupation?
government, your Israeli government are the
70
ones
years of
who
occupation.
are the ones who
75
funded
years of
funded Hamas.
Yeah.
This is
To come into power in the first place.
This is
it was the
What about the
American.
1948 Nakba? What about all? So you're missing a
lot
wider
of conflict there,
context.
isn't
Very
it?
selective.
A wider context. Yeah.
Look, I will admit freely that the massacre at Day
This thing did not start on October the 7th.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jazakallahu khair for tuning in. We hope you're enjoying this video and benefiting from it. Something that's come to our attention, what we've noticed is nearly 90% of our viewers are not subscribed to this channel. We want to make you guys aware that One True Message Foundation is completely non-for-profit. We are a non-profit organization and subsequently we've turned off all advertising on YouTube. What we need you guys to do is share the khair with us, subscribe, like, and share this video to anybody else that you think may benefit. A small action, but we want you guys to share the reward and help spread the one true message. Jazakumullahu khair, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
On October 7th is a symptom of a wider issue.
Anyone who claims that would be making things up because these are people who don't understand. But
You need to read.
anyone who claims that everything happened on.
You need to.
But
Professor
No,
Norman
you said it.
or
You
Dr.
said it,
Norman
Dr.
Finkelstein
but
and Ilan Pape, if you read their books, right?
I know who you're
Yeah.
referring to, and they're
They're
very small
academics.
subjects.
They're
I
academics.
do know who you're
They
referring
know
to,
what
and I
they're
have
talking
read them.
about, and they would beg to differ with you in terms of this.
I do know what you're talking about, and I've read their books.
And
So widen your scope and read a bit more and look what's happening at the bigger picture. Don't be offended by a
So-
word. Be offended by the action. That's the key.
what-
for
what
me.
I am looking-
Anyway, you carry on. I'm going to see something else.
What I'm looking at on October 7th is the taking of the hostages into Gaza,
Right.
because
what about the release?
Okay, what about on the 6th of October? What about all the Palestinians that were being killed in the 6th of and oppressed on the 6th of October? What about on the 5th of October? What about the Palestinians that were being oppressed and killed and denied food? And who gives Israel the right to decide, calculate the nutritional requirements of Palestinian people in Gaza and only allow a certain amount of aid to go into?
why should the Egyptians?
Huh?
Why should the Egyptians?
What do you mean? Why should the Egyptians?
If aid needs sent, it can enter through Rafah.
No, I'm talking about on the 5th of October
I
and the
understand.
4th
I
of
understand
October.
what you're talking about.
And aid can't just enter through Rafah because Israel controls all the ports that go in and out of Gaza.
But
If you're a Palestinian fisherman, you can only go out 50 meters into the sea. If you go any further, you get shot. This is
The blockade of water,
you just want
food,
to. All you want to do
aid
is
in itself ethnic cleansing.
yeah. And according
The
to
ICC
international
found that was
according to
not a valid
international
claim.
law, the oppressor doesn't have a right to defend itself the way Israel's doing.
your right to defend itself on
Israel,
October 7th, 1300
Israel's an
people died.
oppressing.
That is defensive.
Israel is an oppressing. It is a. What's the word I'm looking for? Israel is a settler in the Palestinian area around West Bank and around Gaza. They don't have the right. This so-called thing about defending, right? They're the oppressor.
What he's trying to say is
They're
they're
the-
occupying force.
Thank you.
understand
They're
the
the occupying
argument you're trying to
force.
make.
They're an occupying force. They don't have that right.
I understand
They have the
argument you're
upper
trying to
hand.
make, but in 1947, the United Nations clearly gave a partition.
Okay, excellent. What's your name?
Josh.
Josh. Nice to meet you. I'm Faisal.
It's really lovely talking to us.
Likewise. Josh, this is a conversation we're having, right?
I'm honestly, can I just say, I'm
And-
really happy to be able to have
and as Muslims, we don't have a problem with Jews, okay?
Same. Completely.
And I think you should know that as a Jewish person, with Islam, we
fact,
class
there
you
are
as
many
Ahlul Kitab. We class you as people of the book. We have respect for you guys, right? Excellent.
Ilan Pape is a Jew, Norman Finkelstein's a Jew.
What you just said.
Many Jews that I respect.
Just make that statement that you just made again.
I can't know what you're referring to. Oh, 1947, the UN.
So 1947, United Nations gave Israel a state, right?
Yes.
Who gave United Nations that right?
all the nations underneath.
Who gave? No, it was Britain. It was Great Britain. It was Great Britain and the United Nations, right? That gave Israel a state. But who gave them the right? Who gave them the right? Right? Who gave the United Nations the right to take a land from a people, to take a land of Palestine, of Greater Palestine, to take them and move them out and say, actually, these people are going to live there? Who gave them that right?
All of the nations underneath the United Nations. If you're willing to accept
the United Nations was created for this purpose.
The United Nations were not created for this purpose. The United Nations was created after.
So that genocide didn't happen again.
So, sure.
Yeah? So that genocide didn't happen again. So that innocent people wouldn't be blown to smithereens again, the way they were in Nazi Germany.
Okay, so
right?
why didn't
which we empathise with as Muslims.
Why didn't the UN protect the thousands of Israelis who died in the first in 1948-1949 war?
What do you mean in the
1948-1949, the Israeli government attempted to set up
the Israeli government that had just been formed.
Yeah, declared independence.
That was on another person's land.
And then was immediately attacked and civilians killed on
people. So you come to my house. You come to my house. Do I have the right to fight with you?
If the UN says I do, I do.
Wow.
The UN says, are you serious?
But who gave you in the right? Who gave you in the right?
Who gave you? The United Nations.
Who gave them the right?
Honestly, it's like me saying, oh, is that your hat? Thank you very much. Oh, this is your hat now. I've got no right to take this off you and pass it on.
But it doesn't make sense. Josh, it doesn't make sense.
Random guy.
I understand that. I understand. I understand. I understand.
It's your hat anyway. We're not Israeli. Don't take things out. Yeah. Carry on. Anyway.
The United Nations was
example,
created.
you can understand that, but you can't expand it out to the bigger picture.